Let's see. I guess we'll do some talking while we're here. Let's see if we can talk to Vanessa.
Excuse me, Lieutenant. I'm currently on duty, so I would appreciate if you did not disturb me.
That's fair.
Lieutenant Craft is the ship's head of security. Since I'm here, you can take the time to introduce yourself formally. Great, I've got this. See you in 5. So you're the security officer that Cassandra's been going on about.
That's right, Lieutenant Chase Craft. Pleased to meet you.
Very well. I'm Vanessa Lord. I serve on the bridge as part of operations. Cassandra's told me a lot about you.
Is that right? What kind of?
I'm disappointed that you're nowhere near as attractive as she made you out to be.
Well, luckily that shouldn't affect my ability to perform my duties. Oh, is that, right.
I thought it was too good to be true that some dashing officer would be transferred here at the last moment. Instead, we've just got another lunk.
Well,
How is it you even got transferred here on such short notice? I was looking over your records earlier, and you were mid-assignment on the Duke. Why would they transfer you instead of...
Oh, hey, look at the time. I think your break's over, Lieutenant Commander Quinn. I think Vanessa needs to get back to her station.
Of course, I hope this is the start of a productive working relationship between the two of you. Vanessa, I'll catch up with you later, okay?
Okay, I guess I can try talking to the captain some more. Yes, Lieutenant. Captain, when I received my posting to the Gun-Dog, I was informed of my role, but I didn't receive the ship's briefing documents. If I may, what's the Gun-Dog's objective? We've been alerted by another Swift-class patrol vessel, the O'Brien, about signals coming from the edge of our territory. The O'Brien is currently on a solo patrol in outer Jovian space, so we've been sent to provide backup or support as necessary. Of course, if something were to attack 2 Swifts, it's not as if they could put up much of a fight. Really, it's more of a case that we're out there so that if anything does happen, at least one vessel will be able to get away to warn the colony fleet. I see. Oh, did I just say that out loud? Yes, ma'am. Well, look, it's not a suicide mission. It's a coin's flip of a suicide mission. Well, if anything happens, it's probably nothing, right? The signal's probably just a false alarm. Forget what I just said. That's an order. Yes, ma'am. You hear that, Cassandra?
Yes, Lieutenant. How can I be of assistance?
Very formal on the bridge. Cassie, you're being...
Respectfully, Lieutenant Craft, I would appreciate if you'd address me as Lieutenant Commander Quinn.
Ah, I see. Okay, look around a bit. The bridge is one of the few places on any ship where you can actually see out into space. When in combat, these windows are covered by blast shutters, and the bridge crew rely on sensors and small cameras mounted on the outside of the ship. Got this. With the exception of some physical controls, a ship the size of the Gun-Dog can be controlled entirely from the bridge. Navigation, automated combat systems, security measures, you name it, it can all be done by a few crew members in this room. We already know this. Okay. The chair. Well, that's the captain's chair. Although the majority of the ship can be controlled by the operations staff, there's a few select systems that only the captain can authorize, and they're all done from that chair. You need a captain's clearance level to access them, though, so it's not like you can just sit down and activate them. Of course, naturally. Alright, well, let's get out of here. I suppose I should probably go to the aft thoroughfare and pick up my weapon. You swipe your keycard through the card reader set into the terminal by the armory's door. There's a slight delay, but quickly enough, the terminal flashes a message. Access granted, and the door slides open. The first thing you notice at the armory is that the benches and lockers remind you of the changing rooms from the first training center back at the military academy on Europa Colony. As you walk past them, you take a closer look and realize that they're the exact same kind of benches used on the larger ships you've been stationed on, which had sports facilities and changing rooms on board. It's a lot of weapons. I guess, I was going to say a lot of weapons for one security officer, but I guess if we get into an actual, combat situation, people might be boarding. Probably at that point, the whole crew gets armed, I would imagine. Instead of sports clothing and equipment, these lockers are filled with a selection of combat gear, from body armor or electroshock weapons to a variety of small and light weapons. Although actually it's worth noting, I don't even know necessarily if this is a universe where boarding is like a combat tactic. Obviously, if in Star Trek, as an example, you got the teleporters, which then allow people to board other ships. But realistically thinking about space travel, boarding a ship would be tough. I mean, you would need probably you need to pierce the hull, and then board probably with spacesuits on, I would guess. Yeah, this is the first time I've actually been inside a ship's armory. That's not really surprising. It's only the security detail that would have access. Even in a situation where a ship's expecting to encounter a boarding party, okay, boarding party would happen, it's security's responsibility to distribute weaponry to the crew in advance. It's to ensure there's no panic or a crew don't get a hold of weaponry they're not trained to use. Huh. That's standard regulation. You should know that. Well, all I remember from my firearm training was when I dropped my electroshock weapon and accidentally zapped one of the other girls from operations. Our trainer made me use a hand-cranked battery charger to recharge all the power packs as punishment. That must have taken forever. You bet, but you should have seen my gun show afterward. Pew pew. Which reminds me, the captain said I was authorized to collect my sidearm. I should get whilst I'm here. Okay, sidearm. Let's take a look. The locker contains a variety of small arms and light weapons. They're only for use against external hostile forces. Even then, their stopping power is relatively low because of the dangers of using live rounds inside a ship. Yeah, I wouldn't want to accidentally depressurize the cabin with a lead-based firearm or something, you know? The spacesuits in here are for the ship's security detail. They're a little bit more robust than the suits handed out to the rest of the crew, for obvious reasons. But aside from that, they don't offer much of a tactical advantage. This locker contains electroshock weapons. They're non-lethal and intended to be used for crew control in case of a mutiny or violence that breaks out for some other reason. Okay, so I need to get... So this would be my sidearm. This is the weapons locker with the electroshock weapons, and I'm authorized to take one small weapon from here as part of my role as security officer. This one will do. You got an electroshock gun. What's that? Yeah, it's just my standard issue duty weapon for my role as security officer. It fires a barbed projectile that contains a miniature battery. It's non-lethal, but more than enough to stop someone in their tracks. I see. What? What's this look about? Absolutely not. Oh, come on. No, you can't have one. They're for me. I don't think I need any of these right now. Accessing weapon locker sends an automatic alert to the bridge. Even if I wanted to examine the weaponry, I wouldn't want to set off an alarm up there without telling anyone what I was doing. Fair. I don't really need a spacesuit right now either, I imagine. So, have you ever got to use any firearms? Why do you ask? Well, I know you're security, but you never tell me about anything exciting. I always imagined you're facing down bad guys with some scary pistol the size of my forearm, saying cool lines like, "How many shots did I fire? I don't know myself, but the question is, do you feel lucky, bub?" Well, see, the thing with a security job is, 99.9% of it is just kind of sit around and wait for something to happen. And then, the other 0.1% is you're out here fighting for your life, so... Yeah. Really, there's not that many exciting days. You've been watching way too many old movies. Aww. Not even once? Most of my job is on dealing with crew members who get a bit... tetchy? after being cooped up in a ship for too long and start fights with each other. Even then, I just tend to break things up and talk them down. Most of the time, no one even ends up in the brig. Gotta have something more exciting than that. Well, I knew you were in exciting action here. Tell me. So this one time a pilot found out that someone on the maintenance team had been trying to hit on his girlfriend. He got so mad that he got into his armored frame and used it to corner the guy in the hangar. No way! He was threatening to turn the guy into paste and had made a real mess of some cargo containers. Because the hangars are a low gravity zone, I was able to make a jump from a gangway to the armored frame and then overrode the cockpit access from the outside. The pilot was too focused on the engineer to notice me. Whoa, a frame jack! To use a cool line when the cockpit opened? Pick on someone your own size or something? No way! I put 50,000 volts into the guy's shoulder the second I had a clear shot. Oh, come on, you're no fun. Or practical, you know? That's another way to look at it. Okay, well, I got my weaponry. Now what? With Cassandra leading the way, the two of you leave the armory behind and step into the aft thoroughfare. Cassandra pauses for a moment, looking left then right, before turning back to face you with a smile on her face. Well, that's it, Chase. Consider yourself officially acquainted with all there is to be acquainted with on board the one and only JFS Gun-Dog. Hope you enjoyed the tour. I did. It's probably up there in my top 5 ship orientations. Top 5? I couldn't have been assigned to that many more than 5. Okay, you're right. Top 3. What? Maybe a triple shift to start your time aboard the Gun-Dog is more to your taste. Well, that did happen to me on board the Thunderbolt. So if that didn't happen, I guess it'd definitely be my favorite orientation ever. What a coincidence. It looks like your schedule's clear until tomorrow morning. Whoa, in that case, 5 stars. Great tour, especially the guide. So now that the tour is over, your duties don't formally begin until tomorrow. If you want, we can take another look at anywhere on the ship, or if you want to call it a day, that's cool too. I think I'll... Well, I think we looked at everything. Like, I don't think there's anywhere else to go, so I guess we can call it a day. I think that's enough for now. I should probably go over the mission logs before tomorrow and get in early night. I know the captain seems pretty relaxed, but I don't want to make a habit of late starts. So responsible. I've got the late shift tonight, so maybe I'll get a nap in too. The two of you leave the aft thoroughfare behind as you both head back to your quarters. Cassandra being on board has been a huge surprise, but having spent this time with her, you found that all the anxiety you've been feeling when you boarded has disappeared completely. You continue to chat casually about your schedules, the mission, and your plans for your next shore leave. Eventually you reach the foreside thoroughfare, and you turn down the corridor that leads to your quarters. Okay, I'll see you soon then. Who the heck could this... Well, look who it is! The Calic Coward! You don't even need to look beyond Cassandra to know who's standing at the entrance to the corridor. Although you'd recognize the mocking tone anywhere, the real giveaway is the nickname, one you'd thought you'd escaped a long time ago. Hanson Cruz, or as you knew him, Calic 3. Of the members of the Calic Squadron who'd taken part in the battle, he'd been the only one to return. Even then, that had only been after the ceasefire had been signed, a full 13 hours after he'd launched. From what you'd heard from the other crew members, he'd survived by playing a game of cat and mouse with the enemy forces in a debris field. By shutting down the majority of his systems and hiding amongst the wreckage, he'd been able to launch surprise attacks, taking down his pursuers one by one. When he came back to the Calic and saw your armored frame still suspended from its restraints, he had instantly blamed you for the squad being wiped out. If you'd taken off when you were supposed to, he argued, the squadron would have been at full strength, enough to survive the surprise attack. No amount of technical data or arguing that it had been physically impossible for you to launch would change his mind. The destruction of the Calic Squadron was on your hands. The worst bit was that you weren't entirely sure he was wrong. Hey, what's up, Lieutenant Chase? You're not thinking of finishing your first day without meeting an old friend, right? When Haru came and told me that some lieutenant called Chase Craft was our new security officer, I had to come and take a look. No way could it be that wimp from back on the Gallic. They'd have been dishonorably discharged for dereliction of duty. But I guess the JCF is so desperate that they'll hang on to anybody, no matter how much of a screw-up they are. How'd you end up here, Craft? They decided you couldn't handle a full-size ship, so they put you with the smallest crew they could find? You instinctively make your hands into fists, but unclench them quickly before Hansen notices. You haven't been stationed on the same ship as him since the Calic, but you'd run into him a few times on board the colonies, whilst you were both on shore leave. Each time had ended badly. Say nothing, tell Hansen to stand down or push back. I'm the security officer on the ship. I need to defuse the situation. You must lash out at Hansen, but stop yourself before you do. The two of you are on the ship together, whether you like it or not, and the last thing you want is to let him know that he can get a rise out of you so easily. You fight the urge to just draw your electroshock weapon here and now. It'd be easy to put an end to it that way. But you know that in the long term it'd probably be the worst decision you could make. Instead, you grit your teeth. Stand down, Ensign. This kind of behavior is out of line. Oh no, what are you gonna do, Lieutenant? Confine me to quarters? On what grounds? Hurting your feelings? Give me a break. Where's the spine 4 years ago, huh? You happen to throw your weight around against your comrades, not the enemy? See what I was saying, Haru? The lieutenant here is a coward, and has been since day one. Won't fight, won't even stand up for themselves. Ensign Cruz, you stop this right now. Lieutenant Craft is... Can't stand up for yourself, so getting this ditz to do it for you, is it, Lieutenant? Cruz, you stop this right now and apologize, or I'll order Lieutenant Craft to throw you into solitary and write you up myself. You're welcome to try, Lieutenant Commander, but I don't think your security officers got it in them to even try. You think you can take me on, Craft? Go strong and silent. Ryan Hansen, orders are orders, or show him you mean business. Okay. I don't think I want to actually start a fight right now, but I will insist that if I have orders to restrain you, to take you on, I will do so. You step up to Hansen and place your hands on your hips, squaring directly up to him. You look into his eyes and wait for him to blink. A few 10 seconds pass, but eventually he blinks first. You hold on to the sigh of relief for now. Ensign Cruz. That's a request from a senior officer. I suggest that you don't force the lieutenant commander to make it in order. You're so close that you can feel Hansen's hot breath on your face as he exhales through his nose and smirks. Why's that? What do you have to do when I disobey it? Come on then, Lieutenant, what's it gonna be? You gonna show me who's boss on board this ship? You're gonna make me obey that order? You wanna think long and hard on what you're gonna do, Lieutenant? Never know when you're going to need a friend like me. I mean, we're all crewmates here, right? I'm not heartless. I'll even help losers like you out if you've done me a solid or two. So maybe you should act like a professional for once. Are you going to do something stupid and show the lieutenant commander that you're just as much of a screw-up as she is? Ooh. Okay, you can insult me all you want, but do you insult my woman? You take a deep breath and... I can't do nothing. You know what? You've disrespected my girlfriend, but more importantly, you've disrespected your superior officer. This is a military vessel. I expect military levels of discipline. And right now, sir, you are not with you are a hindrance to the ship's functioning and the mission. I expect you to get in line, and I will make you get in line if I have to. You feel a white-hot bolt of anger shoot through you. Without thinking, you clench your right hand and snap your whole body to the left, bring your fist up in a tight arc. It connects neatly with Hansen's jaw, and the pilot staggers to his right, falling into the nearby wall. Chase, stop it! Almost bent double, Hansen pushes himself away from the wall using his right hand, while slowly dragging the back of his left across his mouth, smearing the blood from his split lip across his cheek. Oh, okay. He pauses briefly, then without warning hurls himself at you, catching you off guard and knocking you to the floor. Before you can recover, Hansen is upright and grabs you by your collar. With no time for you to react, he throws back his right arm and brings his fist down on you in a savage blow, following it up with another and another. Your head is left ringing and your vision blurred, but before he manages to get another punch in, you swing your right elbow into the crook of his left arm, breaking his hold on you. With Hansen now thrown off balance, you push back and grab his jacket, using the leverage to wrench him to the ground. Now free, you quickly scramble to your feet and steady yourself. It's not long before Hansen is back up, and the two of you continue throwing punches. After deflecting a jab, you spot a perfect opening that would let you finish this. You plant your left foot firmly and cock back your arm before swinging forward. Lieutenant, stand down! You barely manage to stop yourself from throwing a punch with all your weight behind it, as Cassie steps in between the two of you, facing you down. You stagger forward and manage to regain your balance, seeing that Haru has grabbed Hansen from behind and locked their arms around his. Both of you are a disgrace! This is unacceptable! The white-hot fury that had been fueling you disappears quickly, and in its place you are feeling queasy and shaky. As you catch your breath, you see an anger in Cassie's eyes that you've never witnessed before. Henson Cruz, you are confined to your quarters until further notice. Cassie strides over to Hansen's quarters and, using her key card, opens his door. Standing aside from the entrance, she gestures to Haru, who, on command, shoves Hansen through the doorway. Once he's through, Cassie quickly follows us up by closing the door and entering a code into the panel. As for you, Lieutenant, you're confined to quarters until the beginning of your first duty tomorrow morning. Like with Hansen's quarters, Cassie strides over to the panel by your quarters and swipes her keycard through it, standing aside from the doorway once it's open. But you just about manage. Do I need to get Ensign Rumney to help you, Lieutenant? You continue to stand there for a moment, your head spinning and your mind racing. As the adrenaline from your fight disappears, you begin to feel a pit of nausea in the bottom of your stomach. Now, Lieutenant! Resigned, you begin to walk towards your quarters. You wince as a pain shoots up through your left side from where Hansen landed a punch, but you don't see any sympathy in Cassie's eyes. Instead, as you pass through your door, you hear her whisper, I'm disappointed in you, Chase. Once through the door, it's shut behind you, and you're left standing in the near silence of your quarters. You make your way to your bed and gingerly sit down, the same pain reappearing in your left side. You sit still, staring at the door that's been locked behind you. Think out Cassie's words from earlier. Big day ahead tomorrow, huh? You sigh. We'll see. April 23rd, planetary calendar, 2:14. 4 days have passed since JFS Gun-Dog departed on its mission to rendezvous with the JFS O'Brien. In that time, her crew, including Lieutenant Chase Craft, have fallen into the easy rhythm of life aboard the ship. Even as the Gun-Dog enters the outer limits of Jovian space and is due to meet the O'Brien, there is little for the crew to do, and a general sense of routine permeates the atmosphere. Outer Jovian space, aboard the Jovian patrol ship, JFS Gun-Dog. You're just finishing the last of your coffee as a shrill series of electronic pips begins sounding from your wristwatch. Without looking to check the time, you turn off the alarm and rise from your seat, knocking back the last of your drink once you've stood up, then taking the empty cup back to the food vendor. It's easy to lose track of time on board a military ship where the light is kept at a constant level, so you rely on a series of alarms you've programmed. You know that this one means your shift is due to start in a few minutes, giving you time to finish whatever you may be doing. You place the cup back into the vendor, where the machine latches onto it and then retracts it into a space that is quickly sealed by a sliding panel. As the sound of muffled whirring begins, you turn back to face the empty mess hall. Time to carry out the day's security checks then. Let's see. I need to stop by fire control, the hangar, and engineering to check that everything's going as it should. Okay, we'll start with fire control then. There's no one here. I guess I could have seen if there's anyone in the mess hall. Okay. Alright, let's start with fire control. You still feel a little bit awkward checking on fire control as part of the security report. Although Dylan is always friendly enough, you can't help but feel like you're intruding on his personal sanctuary. It doesn't help that his headphones are so big that, short of shaking him, it's hard to get his attention. Well, here we go. Morning, Lieutenant. How's it going? Oh, hey, Dylan. Everything alright? I thought you'd be listening to your music. You're a pretty punctual guy, Lieutenant. So far you've come by here the exact same time every shift. All I had to do was find which albums would last until just before you got here, and now I don't need to get interrupted mid-jam. That's pretty impressive. Are you going to get bored of listening to the same albums every morning, though? Nah, don't worry about it. I figured out about 15 different album combinations, and that's not including changing the order of play, so I'm good for this mission. Speaking of the mission, you know the drill. Anything unusual? Nothing at all, Lieutenant. Not even a scrap of debris. I've been keeping an eye on the long-range targeting systems, too, and we've had a blip, but the energy readings don't match the O'Brien, which makes sense. Yeah, I thought so. We're so deep in Jupiter's backyard that I don't think we'll be seeing anything at all aside from the O'Brien. Pausing for a moment as you idly shift your focus from one screen to another, a flicker on one screen catches your attention. What is that? Say? This screen here just flickered. What did the readings say? That's a long-range targeting system. Set with data from the long-range communication system, which has been on the fritz recently. Chief's been working on it, trying to figure out where all the feedback's coming from. That's the kind of thing you should be filling me in on, Gunner. Dees, if our targeting systems aren't operating properly, then I need to make sure the captain knows. Not bad, sir. Since Chief said she was on the case, I figured it was all in hand. Well, let me know next time. That's it, though? Nothing else? Nothing at all. Alright, keep it up, Gunner Dees. Yes, sir. Okay. Anything else I should know? What's going on, Lieutenant? I listened to Trish and the Replicants album you lent to me the other day. It was pretty good. Hey, nice, nice. If you're into it, I've got a few other albums I can lend you. I've heard of Firebombing. I was wondering if you had something a bit less rock. What are you thinking? Well, I really like the Lin Minnie May song. They were always playing back in Europa before we left. Do you have anything like that? Lin Minnie May, that's overproduced twee stuff? Come on, sir. Next you'll be telling me you want to listen to a whole album of Princess Maria ballads or something. I mean, whoever said there was anything wrong with Princess Maria ballads? I mean... No way, sir. Come on. You're listening to Firebombing next, and that's it. Alright, okay. Leave the tape with me next time you pass by my quarters. Princess Maria, who can have a taste in music like that? Okay. Next I need to go to... I think we're at something in the hangar? Alright, the hangar. Let's see. Although you take the first few stairs normally, by the time you reach the hangar entrance, you're skipping almost every step. Gliding through the door onto the catwalk, you grab the railing and heave yourself over it. As you continue to float lazily through the wide open space on the hangar, you start your visual checks. Walkway is clear. Access points marked. Munitions stowed. All the equipment and supplies seem to be where they should be. You casually shift your weight to one side of your body, causing you to begin spinning slowly. As you rotate, the glare from the hangar lights reflects off an armored frame's camera lens, almost as if it was watching you. Quickly dismissing the thought, you turn your attention back to your duties. Eventually you arrive at the other end of the hangar, where you plant your feet on the thick steel of the main door. From this angle, you can take in everything that you may have missed, including Dalton. You can see in amongst the strange units, his attention fixed intensely on a collection of parts in front of him. Cadet Dalton, attention! The junior engineer suddenly snaps to attention the second he hears your call, inadvertently launching the pair of pliers he was holding out into the open space of the hangar. Without gravity to stop them, they continue to sail through the air. At ease, cadets. You time your launch from the door exactly to allow yourself to grab the pliers as you float over to the startled cadets. I believe these are yours, cadets?
Sir, thank you. I didn't realize you were...
Relax, Dalton. I'm just doing my rounds. I'm not here to check up on you.
Oh, okay. Cool, yeah. Is there anything I can help you with?
Just the usual. Everything okay in here? You haven't noticed any mechanical failures? Everything working how it should? Any suspicious activity?
Nothing to report, sir. I've just been working on my project. Ever since Lieutenant Commander Quinn assigned Ensign Cruz to the filter cleaning, it's given me a bit of extra time to finish things up.
Oh yeah, that's your high-density foam. That's rock hard, right? How's that going?
That's right. It's good. I'm hoping to get a chance to test it soon. These containers are full of the compound. I'm just about to try transferring it into some empty training rounds. You know, the ones normally filled with paint.
The ones that the armored frame pilots use in practice combat to show when they've hit each other?
The compound's stored under pressure where it remains a liquid. When removed from that pressure, it expands quickly, and with rapid expansion, it sets. If I've got this right, then we can test it by firing the practice rounds at dummy targets. When the casing is destroyed, the compound should activate.
Good news. Well, if there's nothing I need to know, I'll head out. Let me know if you see anything out of place.
Yes, sir, I will. Although, I was wondering...
What's up, cadets?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
If you're sure, cadets. I'm worrying about it. Dalton, what were... Slow down, cadet. It's me.
Sorry, sir. I didn't realize you were still here.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, you've got something on your mind. What are we going to ask?
Oh, it's nothing, sir. Don't worry about it.
Come on, Dalton. It's not exactly like I'm rushed off my feet doing the security rounds. What's up?
Well, if you're sure. The chief sent a message that she wants me to head over to engineering to carry out a job. But I'm right at a critical part of the process that decants the compound into the training grounds. If I stop now, I'll have to stow all my equipment, so I'll be late anyway, and then I won't have any time, and then it'll be...
Okay, slow down. What do you need me to do?
Oh, sorry, I just need a bit more time. Chief's got something they want me to do, but if I stop now, I don't know when I'll get another chance. So anyway, you could cover for me?
I'll see what I can do. Say no more. I'll take care of it.
You will? I mean, are you sure?
Don't even worry about it. If it's something I can help with, then I'll lend a hand. If I can't, well, I'll cover for you. Don't sweat it.
Thank you, sir. With extra time, I should be able to get these rounds ready for testing before the next AF drills. Thank you.
No problem. Now get back to it. If the chief thinks you've slacked off for nothing, then you'll know about it.
Thank you, sir. I'll get right on it.
Okay. I guess I should head down to engineering immediately then to make sure that gets reported to the chief in a timely manner. This isn't the right room. Lieutenant JFS entering the main engineering. You declare to the cavernous expanse of machinery and access ways that makes up the engineering section. You'd been instructed to announce your arrival by the chief, and since last time you didn't, she nearly dropped a filtration unit on you to prove a point, you made sure not to forget. Access way is clear, no visible detritus, nothing seems to be malfunctioning. You stop midway through your visual checks. And no one's throwing heavy machinery off the higher levels to teach me a lesson in proper conduct. It doesn't take long for you to finish your daily checklist. The chief runs such a tight ship that you don't really expect anything less. Now, if you think about it though, she hasn't given you your daily grilling about how insulting it is that you think these daily checks are necessary in the first place. Chief, you here?
Up here, Lieutenant!
Chief, are you around?
Damn it, Lieutenant, I'm up here!
That's weird. It's not like the chief to not be at her assigned duty station. I'll have to tell the captain.
Damn it, Lieutenant, I'm here, up here! Look up, you idiots!
Looking up, you see the chief engineer leaning dangerously across the safety rail for a walkway a few levels above you. Behind her is a mass of cabling that's pouring out of an open panel above her. Oh, Chief, good morning!
Good morning yourself. I've been calling back to you this whole time. You forgot to clean out your ears or something?
Sorry, Chief. It's pretty loud in here.
Nothing in here's running above a safe decibel limit, and if you tell me otherwise, I'll come down there and recalibrate your ears.
You quickly mentally calculate the time it would take for her to get down to where you are, and the time you'd need to get out of engineering. Although you fancy your chances, you wouldn't bet money or your ears on it. Must be me then. Anyway, I'm just filling out the daily report, Chief. What's going on up here?
One of those clowns at the colony dock who took part in the maintenance process must have done something stupid to the long-range communication system. For the last 12 hours, we've been picking up huge amounts of feedback. They must have made a bad connection, but I can't find it in all this shoddy wiring.
Huh. I don't see the system that Dylan was talking about. Are you sure there's nothing out here that could be sending a signal? A broadcast from the O'Brien? One of our reconnaissance satellites?
No chance! This feedback is way too intense. Even a standard broadcast shouldn't produce this much noise. Unless maybe they calibrated the long-range system on the shortwave bands. In that case, the sensitivity would be off, so it would...
Chief?
Huh? Oh yeah, like I was saying, there's nothing around here that should be kicking out a signal with this kind of capacity. It's like it's picking up something with an amplitude and frequency 10 times higher than our standard equipment.
Uh-huh.
Which could be as a result of a processor loop. Maybe I should check out the initial conversion driver next.
Okay, well in that case, Chief, I'm gonna let the captain know, okay?
Huh?
I'll put that in my report for the captain, alright?
Oh yeah, sure, I was gonna let her know when I fixed it, but those dolts have done a real number on this, so it's gonna be longer than I thought.
Alright, thanks for the heads up. Alright, that's all the routine checks carried out. Time to report to the captain. But first, I need a cover for the junior engineer. Oh, Chief, one more thing.
Huh?
Are the issues with the long-range communication system going to interfere with standard maintenance? Do I need to follow up with operations to get you some support?
Depends on how badly these idiots back at Europa have fouled things up. Normally something like this should be a quick wiring fix, but I can't trace back the fault, huh? Although maybe the problem isn't with the wiring around the receiver. They could have crossed wires on the broadcast hardware.
Yes or no, Chief?
Oh, not today. No, today's schedule's maintenance is pretty light, so Dalton should be able to take care of it. He's not scheduled to report to me until later, though, when you go to the hangar. Tell him to pack up his project and get over here on the double, you hear?
Actually, Chief, now that you mention it...
Huh?
Dalton said he's a little busy with his project at the moment, and that stopping would throw the whole thing off. So I said I'd cover for some of the maintenance tasks.
Oh, he did, huh?
Yes, Chief.
And you said you'd cover?
Yes, Chief, that's right. As the silence between you and the Chief drags on, you begin to regret offering to do Dalton a favor. Now, do you think about it? What exactly do you know about maintenance? Not only is the Chief going to give Dalton grief for passing off his workload, you're going to get it in the neck for...
Well, if he says he's at an important stage in his work, I'm not going to drag him away. Kid's been slaving over that project night and day. Gotta admire his love for the craft.
You let yourself relax. Thankfully, it looks like the Chief's got something of a soft side after all.
I'll be able to pick things up here, but I've got one of his jobs that you can do for me.
What do you need? The chief turns away from you and squats down, rummaging around in her tool pack for something.
The batteries in the emergency spacesuit radio packs in the airlock are due for replacement. Take these and switch them out for the old ones, okay?
She casually tosses 2 battery packs towards you, which you just about catch, surprised by their heft. Alright, charge batteries. Roger that, Chief.
Once you've got the old ones, bring them back here and plug them into the power distributor module. After that, you're free to go.
Swap out the batteries in the emergency space suits in the airlock, then bring the old ones back here to recharge. Simple. Alright. That's a job I can do. Alright, to the aft thoroughfare, and then to the central hub, and then from there we go to Foreside. I've told Dalton and the chief that I'll take care of things. I should probably get on with that before I do anything else. I thought... Oh, the airlock's up here, right. Okay, gotcha. Okay, let's charge up these batteries. Or, yeah. Or, okay, use the suits. Alright, let's see. The chief said it was the batteries in the suit radios that needed changing. Firmly grabbing the locking mechanism's handle on the suit's container, you twist it 90 degrees clockwise, and then pull the door up. And then pull. The door offers more resistance than you'd expect, but once fully opened, it remains in place. Reaching inside the container, you hold your left hand against the suit's rigid breast panel, and grab the large black block of plastic that protrudes from the panel's left side. With a tug, the block pulls away, trailing a curling cable that keeps it connected to the suit. As you pulled away from the suit, you flip the radio over to examine it. The bottom half of the device consists of a pistol grip with a secondary microphone and speaker, which allow it to be used separately from the suit, and your thumb rests comfortably on the push-to-talk button. The top half of the unit's underside has a backlit LCD screen showing the current frequency it's tuned to and the battery level. Below the screen sit a few ambiguous buttons. To its side is a dial for tuning and a power switch. Whilst this unit holds the main workings of the radio's receiver and transceiver, the wire that still anchors it to the suit connects it to the small microphone and speaker inside the helmet. Flipping the whole unit around to look at its underside, you see a small latch set into a recess, which you pull down on with your thumb, releasing the cover and letting the old battery slide out into your palm. Old battery out. You murmur to yourself as you take it in your spare hand before sliding it into the opposite pocket from the fresh batteries. You got the depleted batteries. And now to put in the new batteries. No, new batteries, there we go. New battery in. With the battery replaced, you reattach the compartment cover, which snaps back into place. Once you set the radio onto its mount on the suit's breast panel, you step back, close the suit's container door, and twist the locking mechanism 90 degrees counterclockwise. With one down, you move to the other storage unit and repeat the process of unlocking the container, taking the suit's radio, swapping out the batteries, and then replacing everything as you found it. Great, all done. Let's go get these back and charging and engineering. Alright. I guess we can use function to go there. Info. So that's info. Oh, lots of little, like, things. Okay, I mean, I think I've kind of figured out most of these terms, I mean, just based on context and the root words and stuff. Task tells us what we're doing here. Map. So we are currently in this. So engineering is here? Yeah, that's the central computer. This is engineering. There you go. Chief?
Lieutenant, have you sorted out those batteries yet?
No, not yet.
Then what are you hanging around here for? I didn't tell. Let's. You help so you can waste my time. Get those batteries charged, or I'll have you and Dalton scrubbing the biofilters.
Yes, Chief. Okay, so I gotta charge these. Okay, let's look around. Which of these is maybe this? The power distribution module. This device sends energy from the engines out to the rest of the ship. It's also got ports for charging battery packs. I should probably finish the job. Alright, let's use it. Alright, here we go. Batteries in. You take each battery that you'd removed from the suit's radio and place them in the charging ports on the side of the power distribution module. They slide in and lock into place with a satisfying clunk, and a red light right above the port lights up with an amber glow. Great, a job well done. Alright, I'll now talk to the chief. Lieutenant, have you sorted out those batteries, yes? Yes, Chief, all sorted. Good, you're not as useless as you look, Lieutenant. Keep it up. Thanks, Chief. I guess. And now, I ought to go and report to the captain on the bridge. I've completed the security report for today. Should I go up and give it to the captain, or should I take another look around in case I've missed anything? Well, let's just... I know we've already... Like, we went to all the places we have to check, but let's just make sure that, like, everything is in order. Like, we could... You know... Like, I know the sick bay isn't really on our thing. Lieutenant Craft, can I help you? Oh, no, thank you, Doctor. I'm just stopping by. For what purpose? I could help you, then I would have to assume you're here for some other alternative purpose. Do you intend to make small talk? No, I didn't really come here to pick up more nutritional shakes from Miss Quinn. No. On the captain's orders? No, look, it's part of your routine checks. Yes, just doing the routine checks. Checking in on you. Everything okay here, Doctor? Yes, don't let me keep you, Lieutenant. You're clearly very busy. Great, thanks. I'll just be, carrying on with my rounds, then. What? Okay, I guess well, there's probably nothing else for us to really do here. Get to port side. In the mess hall where it came from. Okay. Let's just go report our findings. Alright then, no sense in delaying. Seeing Captain Bartolomew's. Lieutenant JFS entering the bridge. You announce, feeling a sudden twinge in your left side from your fight with Hansen as you step onto the bridge. You gingerly stand to attention and raise your hand to salute, trying not to aggravate your injury too much. Looking around the room, you see Vanessa glaring at you, but she quickly turns back to her station when you catch her. Aside from Cassie, who is sat at her station, entering commands into her console, there's no one else on the bridge, with the captain's chair empty. At ease, Lieutenant. You relax your posture while still feeling on edge. After being confined to your quarters for a day as punishment for your fight with Hansen, things between you and Cassie have been a little bit tense. Captain Bartolomew's isn't with us today, so I'll be taking command until she returns. A small tut comes from Vanessa. If Cassie heard it, she doesn't show it. Oh, is that right? I've come to make a report. That's right, Dr. Rosarium advised me that she'd suddenly taken ill. Vanessa makes another louder tutting noise. Cassie pauses for a split second, but quickly carries on. So he's ordered her to her quarters for some bed rest. We're due to enter communications range with the O'Brien any moment now, and from there it's just a matter of coordinating our patrol paths. Nothing I can't handle. Ahem. Right, the security report, Lieutenant. Oh yeah, of course. You clear your throat, feeling a bit awkward. Although you'd been on the ship together for the past few days, you'd mainly seen each other between shifts where rank didn't really mean much. Cassie acting seriously didn't really seem like Cassie at all. Security report for April the 23rd, PC 214. No breaches or hazards to report, ma'am. No sign of immediate threats or security risks to the ship herself, and all shipboard operations proceeding as expected with little likelihood of disruption. Nothing? Well, the Chief has run into some feedback issues on the long-range communication system, which is impacting the visuals on the long-range targeting system. It doesn't seem to be enough to stop normal operations, though, and they're in the process of isolating the problem area to start repairs. Cadet Grange has also completed the system to load the high-density foam he's developed into training rounds for the Juno's weapons. He's scheduled to have produced enough rounds for tests in time for the next training exercises. Oh, that's great. Good for him. But that's about it. Business as usual. Here's my written report. Reach into your jacket pocket and take a hold of the written copy of your morning report, as well as the completed checklist, which you then pass to Cassie. Once in her hands, she flicks through them casually, giving them a quick once-over.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I'll get these logged. Feel free to return to your standard duties.
Yes, ma'am. As Cassie turns away with the documents in hand, she glances across to a display screen showing the time.
Vanessa, have we heard anything from the O'Brien? We're beyond the scheduled meetup window. Are we picking them up on sensors? There's nothing on sensors, Lieutenant Commander. Not that this interface is making things easy. I'll try scanning on a different frequency bands in case the O'Brien is having the same issue.
Vanessa begins to flip switches and twist dials, filling the quietness of the bridge with a series of noises that range from annoying buzzes to painfully shrill screeches. After a few moments, a communication window on the main screen illuminates, and a slightly distorted voice speaks. Do you read? We are at the rendezvous area and have a mission update. Please acknowledge. I repeat, this is Lieutenant Bashir of the JFS O'Brien, JFS Gun-Dog. Do you read? Oops. We are at the rendezvous area and have a mission update. Please acknowledge. With Lieutenant Bashir from the O'Brien relatively clear on the communications window, Cassandra hastily grabs a microphone.
Roger that, JFS O'Brien. This is Lieutenant Commander Quinn from the JFS Gun-Dog. We're picking up your signal and have arrived at the rendezvous area. Please transmit your precise coordinates. Over.
We read you. That's a sweet voice you got there, Gun-Dog. I'm transmitting coordinates and mission update files now. It's good to finally... Alright, cut off. Well, that's what happens with the communications sometimes.
Lieutenant Bashir, do you read? Vanessa, are you still getting a signal from the... The comms are being overloaded. There's a powerful signal coming in on all bands and it's...
Ah! What?
What the hell just happened?
Is everyone okay? Commander Quinn! Commander Quinn? Cassie? Oh. That doesn't look good. Even before your eyes adjust to the minimal lighting of the bridge, you kneel down and reach out to the darkness, trying to find where Cassie has collapsed onto the deck. You search blindly for a few seconds until your hand meets her shoulder, and you move towards her. Cassie! Hey, Cassie, say something! Cassie! Hang in there, Cassie. Lieutenant Lord, call sickbay and get the doctor up here right now.
I can't.
Why not?
The ship's entire system has been knocked offline. Even the emergency backup systems, it's all offline.
We don't have time for this. Get it back online. You rise quickly and dash over to the elevator, slamming your hand into the call button. I'm going to take Cassie down to the sickbay. You can... Aside from your voice, the whole room remains totally silent. Most conspicuously absent, though, is the whirring of the elevator that would take you directly to the sickbay. You rapidly press the call button in frustration.
Idiot, what part of offline do you not understand?
Wait, so we're stuck on the bridge?